Why is it so hard to find success in Cleveland?
That's a good question. One of the biggest issues for the city of Cleveland is every player that's gotten drafted since '99, they've put everything on that player, whether it was the drive, whether it was the Ernest Biner fumble, whether it was Art Modell selling the team to Baltimore and the team disappearing. All that angst, all that animosity, every time they draft a player in the first round, it's up to that player to save the franchise. And it's just not fair. Tim Couch wasn't going to save your franchise. Johnny Manziel wasn't going to save your franchise. Brady Quinn, Kellen Winslow, me, Brandon Wheaton. The list goes on.
You
It
know
take
what?
it.
To be honest, and to really what maybe their biggest fuck up of the entire century is
Yeah.
Baker did.
And then they got rid of him.
We don't want you.
And then they got rid of him. You're too much of a distraction. Was I a distraction when I won that playoff game? Was I a distraction when I was, a quarter away from beating Chad Henne and getting to the AFC Championship? I wasn't a distraction then.
Blows my mind, bro. And
Yeah.
to be a guy that I see from Texas, right around the corner, a Heisman winner,
Yeah.
I'm couldn't be more excited to see him thriving in what he's doing now because he
Yeah.
deserves it. And look, now in the current situation they're in, you have Shadur walk in here. I really feel deep down that he can be the guy moving forward to maybe shake things up and do something different.
I definitely think Shadur could do that. Yeah, speaking of Baker Mayfield for a second, and you asked me a question, and I'll bring it back. He was able to take a look at himself in total. And I think that's what you have to do when you get removed from a situation. Like Baker was able to take himself out of the Cleveland situation, out of the Rams situation, out of the Carolina situation. And I guess once it was to talk to Sean McVay and then he started, getting therapy and getting help, he was able to look at things in terms of how am I, causing confliction? How am I doing things? What am I doing to not make this situation the best that it can be? And I feel like in my career, it was too late by the time I realized that. That's why Baker's having the success that he's having now with the Bucks is because he was able to start looking himself in the mirror. Like Cleveland, for all the things that they did wrong for me, at least speaking for me, Johnny, they did a lot of things wrong by me. But I think I let the losing, the frustration lead to more partying, more drinking, less focus on the football field, more focus on the things that didn't matter because I was trying to escape bad football. I was trying to escape coaches that didn't talk to me. I was trying to escape owners that I never saw. I was trying to escape offensive coordinators that I couldn't give any game to or couldn't work with or feel a part of the process. So, all right, y'all don't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going out to the View. LeBron's got a party now. I'm going over here to Beechwood. There's something over at this bar or that bar or this club. Or I'm just getting the hell out of here. Shoot, as soon as practice is over on Monday, I'm out. I'm to this city. I'm to this destination so that I can stay away. Berea is 3 minutes from the airport, Cleveland Hopkins International. So that was the best thing about Berea in that space.
You have a long day on a Thursday, but your Friday day starts a little bit
Sure.
later. And I'm like, call Maverick. And I'm like, I need a plane to New York. It's Halloween. And I'm going to go to hang out with the Tao group. And I'm going to take two of my boys and we're going to take a plane and we're going to go. We're going to stay at Trump Soho. We're going to go out and we're going to come back the next morning and be back in time for practice. He's like, yo, you're not going to do this? I'm like, okay, cool. Hop on the internet, fly
Did it anyway.
PJ, boom. How are you going to pay? I'll pay you in cash when we get on the runway. We go. And they sent my boy Rodney with me to go and oversee things. It's Halloween weekend. We're going to Avenue. And
Avenue, I got stories.
man,
Right next to
I'm
Artichoke.
like, you know what, bro? Yes, right on the corner. And
Mhm.
I'm like, we're gonna dress
Yeah.
up. It's Halloween. So me and my boys, my boy who's my assistant who lives with me, Gareth, he's a minion. I dress up as a minion with the mask and the
Surprised you didn't do
goggles and
Scooby Doo.
everything. And I should have. And my other boy dresses as Gru. And we fucking go to the club and walk in fully masked up, go to the table, and our table is right next to the New York Knicks. And I remember taking my mask off for the first time and Carmelo looking at me going, what the
Yo,
are
what's up,
you
champ?
doing? Like, what are you doing? You boys are lit right now.
What you doing,
Go,
champ?
go back home to the hotel, maybe 4 in the morning. You gotta leave at 6. And I remember my boy knocking on my door, waking me up, and I'm like, "Yo, where's Travis? He's not with us." He's like, "Yo, I banged on his door for 15 minutes. He didn't answer." So I'm like, "F it, we got to go back to
Yeah.
practice." We land back in Cleveland. When I get out of meetings at like 11, my boy calls me. He's like, "Yo, where you guys at?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, we're back in Cleveland. I'm booking you a United flight right now. You better head to Newark, bro." And he was
But
like,
you,
what the
at least he knew he was good though. He
I
knew
knew
he
he
was going
was
to United.
good. Come to
Yeah.
find out, my boy Gareth knocked on the completely wrong room that he wasn't in and
Y'all
left
was
him
out here
there, bro.
loose.
It's one of
That's
those
out
nights,
there.
man. Shout out to John Schwartz and Town Group.
Looking back at 42, I could have watched more film. I could have paid more attention. I could have put myself in less situations that I knew could end up a certain way. I don't think I had that mentor when I was in Cleveland, what I'm saying, that I had when I was at Michigan, that a lot of people had in successful teams I was at. I didn't have that mentor, so I didn't have anybody to give me that game. So I did my own thing, and sometimes my own thing got my ass in trouble.
Yeah, it's crucial to have a guy like that. And to be
Yeah,
honest, as tough as things went for me and as bad as it was, without Joe Hayden, it would have been
great
a
friend.
million times
Yeah,
worse. Like
there's a hell of a
him
guy.
and Sarah saved my life and welcomed me in as a part of their family. And I would live at their house and play boo-ray and spades and cards. And they
Don't get
saved me.
booed.
I
Don't
got
get
my ass.
booed.
Okay. So the first,
Yeah. Oh
God damn it.
Lord.
The
Come on, talk to me.
the
Talk to
first
me.
training camp, as you're like going through practice and stuff, and like
Yeah.
certain guys who have been in the league, and you think everybody's gonna make the team. You see guys performing in practice, and yo, of course this guy's gonna make the team. So with like a week left in training camp, we're at Joe's house. There's like 8 guys. We're playing Boo-Ray. And at the end of the day, not everybody brings cash. So I'm like, all right, get the sticky note.
Yeah.
Write your IOUs. Well, cut day came up quick. I remember getting back to the hotel in Berea and opening up that side drawer and just seeing all these fucking sticky notes, 4,500, 80,
You'll never see
50.
it.
You know
Never
what?
see
I'm
it.
like, we're charging it to the game. It just like I learned a lesson that first training camp that motherfuckers that you think are gonna be here are gonna be somewhere else. As Brian Hoyer was the starter and I was very solidified in the backup role. And you go through a couple games of the season and you see this guy tough as nails. I will say that about Brian Hoyer, with throughout all our differences, whatever it may be. He would get fucking rocked. And JJ
Oh,
Watt
differences.
smacked
What differences y'all got? Y'all
it
had
just
some
it was
beef?
it was just a cold quarterback room, right? It
Okay.
wasn't open and welcoming, and like I've seen him speak on it, and I understand he feels a different way, but I could sit down with Connor Shaw, who was the 3 in our room, and he hit me after he saw the interview and was like, "You're so fucking right," and I'll
Yeah.
fucking stand on the table and say that. I don't want to throw him and put him in a situation, but the truth is what it is. Dow Loggins will tell you that.
Yeah.
So it was just cold, right?
You gotta watch those Michigan State kids, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, bro. But that
Yeah.
backup role for me was, as I know I'm not prepared, I don't know enough about defenses. He's not coming off the field. I got comfortable in that backup role to where the Monday workouts come around. You're out of the building by 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I had a flight every Monday.
Same.
Every Monday I was 50-50. It would be straight to South Beach for FDR Mondays at the Delano, or I would go back to Texas
York.
and go to Dallas, or
New
go
York
to
for
the
the
Trump
Gansevoort,
Soho,
Yeah.
and that's what it was. I would go to my car every day. I'd have 2 sticks rolled. I'd try to smoke 2 blunts in the 6 minutes it takes to get to the airport, and I would be on a flight. And I just couldn't wait to get out of Cleveland or be back and breathe Texas air or walk on the beach. And on a Tuesday at 6, 7 p.m., I would be on the last flight out, get back to Cleveland at 10 or 11, and then start the week.
Some Mondays, Magic City Mondays, and
Oh my
ATL.
gosh!
We
Tell
in
me
as soon
about
as
a
we land.
tell me
Boom,
about a
all,
Magic City
man,
Monday.
what?
Come
All
on.
night. Or some Mondays, boom, we're about to go to Miami, go to KOD. or boom like that. It was or New York. It's just so many vibes, so many things to do. But I look back, I like watch these cats that put in this work. There's one thing about social media and what it's allowed you to see of the game is you see these cats working year round, working, putting in that work, whether it's rocks, whether it's working out, man, eating good, the nutrition vibe. They really are taking it serious. And I just look back to my career and don't get me wrong, I got it. I put in some work on that field, 40 tugs, I got this, I did that. But I feel like if I would have stayed some of those Mondays and watched more film, or stayed some of those Mondays and got in the cold tank, then I would have been able to have a better week of practice. I would have been fresher. I would have, elevated my levels weekly and yearly, and I could have been a better player. But when you're in Cleveland, and you're preparing for your off season in October, like when you go through all of, summer workouts and then mini camps and then training camp, you put all that work in with a new plan, you get your body right, they gas you up. You guys are gassing each other up. Yeah, this is the year we get to the Steelers. Yeah, this is the year we get with the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be the year. When you're looking at, 1-5 after 6 games and you're like, all right, are we doing Cancun this year? Are we going to Miami? Are we going to go out the country? And then you've got guys that are used to that. See, I came from winning. You came from winning. You know what I'm saying? What you did at Texas A&M in 12 and 13, like this losing stuff and people being okay with it messed with my mind. And so now I'm finally, after 2.5, 3, 4 years, now it's October and I'm planning for, the off season. So now your mind is rewired in a losing way because of a losing organization. And this is no disrespect to Cleveland. That's what we were. We were a losing organization at the time, and it just seeps into everybody's mind. And I didn't even realize how bad it was until I got to the Jets and I see everything was completely different. Now I'm going out for a different reason. I'm going out to celebrate.
Speaking back a little bit, you said KOD. Man, I popped off 27,000 in ones in there one night and fucking had the best night of my fucking life, dude.
27,000, man.
It was back in the days where you could swipe your Amex and get ones, and then
do the pay transaction. Trust me, I've done that a couple of times. That was a time, man. I remember being in Cameo in Miami on the beach. This had to be like 2009. I think that it was the Super Bowl with who was in the Super Bowl that year? It was the Saints. It was when the Saints won the Super Bowl. They beat the Colts. Man, we're in Cameo. It's Brian McKinney, left tackle for the Vikings for some years. He was on that 01 Miami national championship team. He's on one side. I'm on one side. And of all people, Diddy was in the club, like gassing the bottle wars up. And he popped 10 bottles, so I'm popping 11. He's popping 12. I'm popping 12. All I know is that in the night, his bar tab was 52,000 miles of 47. Like, I was like, for what? But I had fun that night. Like, they wrote about that shit in the South Beach newspaper the next morning.
I had a night at the end of my run in 2016 at Live at New Year's where I think it was like 83,000, and I lined the staircase with like 30 bottles of Ace of Spades. And I used to have this thing that was where I could drink one bottle of champagne to myself and then get about halfway through the next one, and I was like the perfect amount of lit. And that night, getting halfway through the next one, and then I wake up at the one hotel in South Beach, and I pull that receipt out of my pocket. I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't got no sense, bro.